What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel. And today I want to try a little funky build out, something a little fun with the Elementalist here. Now, this is the Elementalist after all, right? So he has access to all these skill types when it comes to all these different elements. That's what interests me. I want to do a build where we have 6 abilities, each one is a different element. So we're going to start here with Scepter of Frost as our ice ability, and we're going to go see if we can collect some nature ability, a fire ability, an electric, a shadow, and a holy, until we just have like one of each. And I think that'd be a really fun way to do a build. Don't have much in terms of curse on here, you can check. It's just these couple of things to get some extra elites and stuff here, because I think we're going to do a little bit of endless mode or something, maybe some overlord mode. But that's the idea here. We're going to get as many different elemental stuff as we can. I think it'd be really fun. So that's what we're going to try to do here. If you want to check out the runes here, you can go ahead and do those really quick. The most important one I have here that you want to make note of is Generalist. So we're going to cause 5% extra damage for each different type your currently active skills have. So obviously they're all going to have different types of, skills and give us a bunch of extra amounts of damage because, they're going to be different types. They're going to be different elements. So I'm very excited about that. I just had this idea when I was looking around, like, what kind of funky build do I want to do? If you have any requests for like funky builds you want to see, go ahead, leave those in the comments. Maybe a funky build that you tried yourself and you think is pretty fun. I would love to try it myself because I have a lot of fun doing that. I, of course, am going to be trying to finish all of Curse Level 7. We just finished our first Curse Level 7 run last episode, so if you want to go watch that, I'll have that linked on the end screen. Of course, you can watch that after this episode. It was pretty fun. We did a Necromancer run and actually had a quite successful time. Kind of got bullshitted on that run, actually. I was watching it back, and I wanted to bring this up. Let me look through here first. So let's see. We need something. This is Holy. This could be our Holy ability. I think we could do that. Sure, because Light Beam slaps. Let's do that for our Holy ability. Oh, and I do want to say for our Lightning ability, what I want is Tornado. Tornado is an ability that I unlocked a while ago, and I never actually used it. So Tornado is the ability I'm looking for our Lightning ability. So we're waiting for that for our Lightning ability, but everything else, Fire and, a Shadow and stuff, we'll just see what we want to get. I do love Death Vortex, of course, you guys know that by now. So we'll see if we pick those up, but we'll see whatever is presented to us and go from there. But in that run, I actually died, and I think I actually did get a glitch because what happened was I got these like stacks of poison applied to me, but no abilities had hit me. And then I just died from the poison and it took one of my revives. And then I came back to life from reviving and I died to the poison stacks again. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I don't know why it happened. Here's some nature abilities. Which one of these do we want for nature? I actually like Acid Rain a lot, and I think Rot is really good, especially early on for ad clearing. So let's go ahead and grab that. And I wanted to point that out to you guys because I'm sure you even watching, mid-episode, if you watched that one and you were like, what the heck just happened, if you were as confused as I was. And I was like, okay, I probably just missed an ability and I actually did die and it wasn't BS. No, I went back and watched it and I watched it several times, and from my understanding of this game, which I've come to have a pretty good understanding after doing, over 50 episodes of this game, it just blew my mind. I genuinely don't know why I died like that. It was just the strangest little thing. So, go watch the episode back if you have an answer for me. I'd love to know if there actually was a real answer, or if I actually did just get glitched or bugged or something. Because it just seemed like a really weird scenario, and I'm genuinely confused even right now. Okay, Fire ability. We could go Meteor here, but I don't think so. I think we're going to go Fire, Electric, and Shadow. We're not going to do an Arcane ability. But none of these really interest me. I would go this, but we already have Ice, so we're not going to do Frozen Warhammer. We could go Lava Shield. Why not? I think Melting is pretty good. We can go ahead and grab that. Give me the Air Modifier for Acid Rain. I think it's better. And then let's keep looking for... Well, there is... Ooh, Shadow Orb. Could be good for our Shadow skill here. Or we could go a buffing ability, but I think I'd rather just have actual damaging abilities. Chromatic Bolt is kind of a cheat because it's everything, so we don't want that. Electric, we know we want Tornado, so I'm going to keep looking for Tornado. Firebolt, no, we already have Fire. We still need a Shadow attack. Alright, so we don't really want any of this for right now, but obviously I have to take something just for a stand-in for right now. So we'll go ahead and just take whatever the heck I did take. I think I took Smoke Bomb, which is a fine substitute for me right now. An ability I actually like quite a bit, and you're going to get smacked. Feeling pretty strong. Elementalist. Living up to his name right now, mastering all the elements like the frickin' Avatar out here. I watched the original Avatar growing up. I grew up with that show, absolutely loved it. It's become sort of a cultural phenomenon now, which I love. There's a live action series being worked on at Netflix, I'm pretty sure, although it has some turmoil and struggles getting out. Let's just go Chain Lightning for now so we can help do ad clear. And hopefully it does still come out. I think it is. But I never really cared for Korra, The Legend of Korra, which was the follow-up series after Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I've actually tried to watch through it several times. And then recently I was like, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to commit this time. I'm watching this series. I'm getting through it. And I did, and it was actually a really good series. Like, I understand why people like it so much, because I got through it and I was like, wow, yeah, that was actually really good. I just needed to kick myself in the butt and get through, I think, the early episodes, and then I really started liking it quite a bit, honestly. That's actually something that happens in anime a lot. A lot of animes will start really slow and just kind of boring, and you just don't get into it because the plot doesn't grab you immediately. And then it takes a while sometimes, and you kind of like get really into it. That happened to me. Oh gosh, I always forget which anime it was, but recently some anime did that to me, where I just couldn't get into it, and eventually I stopped watching it, and I came back. Oh, Hunter x Hunter, actually that happened to me. I did not get into Hunter x Hunter. There's Shadow Bolt. I want Death Vortex for our Shadow ability. But as for right now, I will fill like Poison Bomb with this just to make sure we have a Shadow ability. Because why not? We'll just fill that in the meantime. There's Blizzard there, would be pretty cool too, but we're not going to take it this time. And I came back to Hunter x Hunter after a while, because the beginning of Hunter x Hunter is actually really just slow and boring in my opinion. Like, just basically nothing happens. There's just like, here's Gon and this and this and this, and the show doesn't really kick into pace until they're like, there's magic, by the way, or I don't know really, I don't know if it's really magic. It's kind of like their life force or whatever. Minor spoilers for how the show works. I'm not actually going to give away any plot points if I can help it. But, eventually the show kicks up and they actually get some more like power type stuff, and the fight scenes become more interesting, and it's not just like, this kid has strong legs for some reason and his buddy's an assassin. And you're like, okay. It actually becomes more interesting, and they get to some crazier plot points. And when I say crazy plot points, I mean crazy plot points, because the plot points in this show are fucking nutty. Although I think that show is actually having more coming out too, more episodes at some point soon, so I'm excited to see that. Jesus. Should I just banish stuff here because I want a higher chance of getting the abilities I want? I'm completely fine with using my banishes like that. I'm going for a bunch of crit here. No thanks. XP. Movement speed. Nice. I think I have enough movement speed if I want to stop picking it up now, but I'm just picking it up for right now. But it's a common thing in anime where it just takes a while to grab you. I haven't been watching too much anime lately. I think I watched My Hero Academia. I got caught up on that. I think I was talking about that a little while ago in this series, actually. Definitely recommend that show, of course. It's a great one. But, like, Fairy Tail was the longest anime I've ever watched. I watched all of it, and that show has... It's like 500 episodes or something? It's a lot. Like, it's a long show. Really good show. Shadow Orb? No. I think I'm fine actually sticking with Shadow Bolt, because it's some more direct damage, and I think it goes well with our other two like direct aimed abilities that we have. And Tornado, once we get it, is not going to be direct damage, so I think that's fine. It's just, not go super hard on a Death Vortex, and just have this Shadow Bolt as our ability here for Shadow. I don't know how good Lava Shield's doing. You can kind of see it falling around my guy here. As I rock into people, you can see it blowing up on them. But it's kind of hard to tell with my opacity so low on my abilities, but I think it's actually pretty good. Take a sip of water here real quick if you don't mind. But, yeah, I mean, I love that show. I do love Fairy Tail a lot, actually. Watch that. And that's, I guess, kind of ties in. There we go, Tornado. So you see Electric here. Summons a tornado at a random enemy's position that moves randomly, causing 132 damage and applying daze to enemies caught within every 0.5 seconds. Okay, we're going to get rid of Chain Lightning for that. Perfect. We should see those start to fly around here soon. I think here one's going to spawn really quick. Oh, there it is. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Alright, see how strong that can be. We'll get that leveled up as fast as we can. And so now we have our abilities here. We have one Ice, Holy, Nature, Fire, Shadow, and Electric. So we are covering almost all our bases except for Arcane, which there's obviously one that I couldn't go, and Arcane is the only one of these that isn't like an element, it fits into like the elements the least, and it's just like magic. So I wanted to go these 6 for our types here. I think they made the most sense to do like an elemental run. And we're getting pretty strong though. I'm happy. Got some cool abilities here, some strong ones. I'm excited to see how this run can shape up. I think we'll probably try to go for Overlord mode here. There's only one more Overlord to kill, and then we can go ahead and get into that portal. We should be able to get there pretty quick. And now we can start leveling our abilities up and not even caring which ones they are. Yes, go Tornado. I want to see how strong Tornado can get, actually. But yeah, I fell out of Fairy Tail. If you don't know, in Fairy Tail, this is very minor spoilers, there's a time skip at one point in the show. And the time skip really threw me off. And when the time skip happened, I stopped watching the show because I was just like, ugh, I don't like that at all. And I stopped watching, and then eventually I came back, and the show is still great after the time skip, you know, mind you, but time skips are something that happens pretty frequently in anime that I'm not really a big fan of. I don't really like time skips in animes, or really any show, to be honest with you, because you just lose so much of what could have happened in between that. And it's usually a cheap way that they like get around plot and how they want to tell a story, because they're like, ooh, these characters are dating, and then ooh, we skipped 15 years, now they're not. And now, and I'm not just talking anime anymore, I'm talking any show that does this, because I've seen other shows do this. And now, oop, here's what happened, and instead of showing you what happened in between these 2 time periods, we're just going to tell it by exposition dumping you with one of our characters. You know, the characters get back together and they're like, this is why we broke up in Texas all those years ago, because you ate all my fish tacos, you fat tub of lard. And he's like, fuck you, Sarah, you were always a bitch. And you're just like, why couldn't you just like show this in the show? I think that was my fastest run ever. That was really good. And you're like, I just think that would have been cooler if you just like showed it to me. You know, like, why did you need to time skip 15 years just to show this to me, or just to tell this to me in an exposition dump? Like, I would have much rather you just actually showed it to me. That would have been really cool to see. You know, why did their relationship end or whatever? Show me her nomming on his fish tacos. That sounds great. I want to see that. But I just don't get to see it? Like, what the heck? Is that acid rain that's that big AoE on the ground? Or is that a tornado? Huh. I guess it is acid rain. But you see how there's like those bigger circles at the end here? What are... I'm not quite sure. Because acid rain and tornado should be our only AoEs, but you can see tornado here doesn't show its AoE. So I'm a little confused. Weird. No, whatever. We're still doing really good here. Let's see. I'll do that. Yes, yes. So I really don't like time skips, if you couldn't tell when it comes to shows. I just think it's a cheap way to get through plot, and it's like, the only thing I understand about it is it's fun to kind of see what's happening in the future, but I hate when you skip so much plot, especially when the story was not even in a place where it was ready to wrap up. Like, if you're at the end of a series and you want to wrap up the series, and then maybe you actually, instead you want to make more of the show, but it's like, well, in this current time period, it kind of makes sense that the show wouldn't keep going. So you go, okay, let's do a time skip. And then we can actually do another plot point in the future, and these seasons would still make sense to be happening because, yes, everything found its, you know, resoluted spot in the past, but now we're in the future, so we actually have new plot points, and it makes sense for them to happen, even though we kind of made everything tied up with loose ends, or nice ends, you know, in the past. And so I like, from that point of view, it can make sense, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'd rather the show end, maybe? But there's some scenarios where a time skip can be done really well. Like if you're going to a new series, specifically. I'm a big fan of Steven Universe. It's a great cartoon. And, I mean, I was in very early high school when that show started, 2014, I believe. And I watched it all the way until, you know, when I was an adult. And what's fun about that show is kind of like Steven grew up with a lot of us that started watching that show when we were younger, because as he got older, we got older. And then the original show ended, and then they had a movie. And the movie was after a time skip of where he had done a lot of stuff and progressed sort of things in their universe. And I'm not going to spoil too much, but then eventually they got another show, a continuation of the show, but it was called Steven Universe, Future. And it was actually, where like the time skip of the movie ended off, and you actually got to see that. And that show was much more less focused on like, ooh, space alien rocks type shit, but In Magic, it was more focused on his actual mental journey and showing like mental illness and all that kind of stuff. And it was very interesting to see because it was kind of like, well, if you started watching when you were younger, you probably are dealing with some of that shit too. But that was a good way to do a time skip where it actually made sense, and they changed up the format of the show to where it was like, wow, this is not just, the goofiness it was when he was a little kid, but he's older now, and so the show is different. The show is more mature because the character's mature. The character's changed. And I always found that time skip to be very well done. But the second reason that time skip was very well done is because the actual show and the plot thread we were following when he was younger ended. And they said, here, it's over now. You've been following this plot thread, but you don't need to anymore because it's reached its logical conclusion. Everything makes sense to end it where it was, but it also makes 100% sense what happens in the time lapse, the time skip forward series, because like it just makes sense logically. It's like, oh yeah, this probably is what would happen. Everything that happens in that series, you're like, yeah, this all checks out. I believe it that this is happening. That's a good way to do a time skip. So it's not that a time skip in a series or an anime or anything can't be done well. I think it's just hard to do well, and I think it misses the mark a lot in most series when creators try to do it. They just don't really, they do it more so for, I want to extend my show, or maybe the network is making them extend their show, and so they put a time skip in, and then it just kind of makes you lose a lot of what could have been really cool, TV, because you didn't get to see it, because instead they just skipped ahead, and it's quite the bummer. So that's something I hate to see, but done right, oh my god, I've never killed a boss so fast. They just ceased to exist. I just went back in time and killed their father so that they could never be born. That's literally how fast I killed them. That was incredible. But yeah, other than that, I guess my original point, The Legend of Korra, it's a good show. And they are actually making a new Avatar series, at least that's what all the hubbub and the everyone's been saying lately. I've been seeing it in a lot of different places on YouTube and Instagram and all that, so I hope it's true. He's supposed to be like the next Avatar on the line. He's supposed to be an earthbender and stuff. So I'm excited if that's actually happening. Of course, we all know the best Avatar properties is the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Obviously unmatched, unparalleled in terms of just that universe and encapsulating what it's all about. No sarcasm, of course. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Should be good stuff. An amazing universe, and one I hope they keep exploring. And that's the only Avatar franchise that I want to get more content, because Blue Alien Avatar, yuck, as we talked about before. But yeah, in terms of that, other TV I've been watching Big Brother, actually. I finished, they have 2 seasons on Netflix, seasons 10 and 15, I believe it was. I finished both of those, and they were both really good. And then I never finished season 1. I know I was talking about that at one point, where I said I was watching season 1 of Big Brother and explaining how different it was and funny it was to watch it, because it was so far back in time in the year 2000, and just how funny all the people dressed and how they acted and just the words they would say. It's funny how much they said the R word. Even until like 2010, people would just like say it. But if you went on there nowadays, most people aren't really just going to say that on national TV. They probably wouldn't want you to say that on national TV, to be honest. But it's just funny hearing them just spout it out. And they're all just like laughing about it. And there's this dude on there in the season 2 I started watching, because I skipped season 1 because I was just like, wasn't really interesting. But season 2, it actually becomes a little bit more game show-like, so it was a little more interesting. Where are these bosses at? There they are. And 2 fire boys and 2 dead boys is more like it. There's this dude, this old guy, and he's just like blatantly homophobic and doesn't even try to hide it. And it's funny because there's like a gay guy on every season, right? That's like what they do nowadays. More people don't really, it's not really as much of a deal anymore. It's where it's just like, people be people, but it's just national TV for the, old people that are still watching actual like cable TV. So I guess it's still probably a bit of a thing. But, they're all trying to figure out, like, who's the gay guy, and there's this guy, and he is the gay guy, and he's talking to the homophobic dude, this old country dude from Tennessee. And while he's talking, he's just like, oh, it used to be these people that were like freaks and they'd hide in the shadows, and now it's their alternative lifestyles. And he's like, got this disgusting smirk on his face when he's doing it. I'm like, ew, you're a fucking disgusting human being. But it's like, is he actually that homophobic? Because then the show goes on and they like, he comes out to him and they actually have like this sense of, you know, friendship, it seems, and understanding of each other. And it's like, okay, so maybe you just needed to actually broaden your worldviews and give people a chance, it seems like, you know, like, I don't know. But overall, he seemed to not be as shitty later on. I've only seen 2 evictions happen, I think. But also in that house, in season 2, I think it was the first time somebody gets kicked out for violence. He got actually like kicked out of the show. And it was like, yeah, makes sense. He like, I'm not gonna go over what he did actually, because it's just like some goofy shit. But he like doesn't even understand why he got kicked out of the house. It's funny because they used to make Julie Chen, like the host, do these like crazy interviews with people, even if they got like kicked out of the house for violence. And she'd have to like sit there and like talk to them, interview them, be like, you understand why you got kicked out, right? And this kid's just sitting there like, no, I don't get it. And it's like, okay, you're an idiot. I mean, he's clearly an idiot. He got kicked out of the house for violence, whatnot, so it makes sense. But it's like, wow, there's some stupid people out there. But it's funny seeing how the show changed, but also just like how people have changed, how society has changed, and I think that goes into kind of like the whole, people are like, oh, you're so soft nowadays, these kids. And it's like, I love people conflate like being soft or something for being inclusive and caring about other people's opinions and feelings, you know. It's like, it's not being soft to actually have someone say, hey, this is how I feel and this is who I am, and you go, okay, I respect that, and I'll let you live however you want to in your life to be comfortable and happy. It's really not that difficult to say that to somebody and to implement it too, you know. It's the wildest thing. But then back then it was like, it seemed to be like this whole discussion where, you know, the gay guy would come out to the rest of the house and it was this big thing, and he would, you know, be in the diary room and be doing like a confessional, and he's like, you know, I'm just afraid that they'll all like hate me and literally want to vote me out of the house just because I'm gay. And of course most people didn't really care, but just like the shame in that guy when he would come out and like have to talk to people, and it was like, man, and this is just like, I don't even know, it's like national TV, you know. That's just crazy. Because nowadays, you know, the gay guy goes into the house and every time he's just like, yeah, I'm the gay guy, and everyone's like, fuck yeah. And then it's not really too much more of a thing. It's just like, that's who that person is, you know. And you would never call them like the gay guy anymore. The other contestants would never just say that. I mean, it is pretty fucked up when you think about it, because you're just defining that in person entirely by their sexuality. It's just like, yo, they're there to win $500,000 the same way you are. So probably pretty smart if you just actually figure out who they are as a person, because they might be really good at the game. But I think there was a lot more of a social aspect to old Big Brother than there is now, where a lot more of it is actual gameplay and strategy now. It used to be more kind of like a social experiment, where it was like, we're gonna lock these people who have almost nothing in common with each other in a house for 3 months, you know. And it was more so like seeing that. But after so many seasons, it becomes less about, wow, that's such an interesting concept, to more like, okay, how do we keep this interesting concept? And they keep it an interesting concept by doing the game show aspect and saying you can win $500,000 if you go in this house, you know. It keeps people wanting to go in, it keeps it interesting, keeps it fresh, and that makes sense to me. But interesting to see just how people change over time, even just in the last 20 years, and how they view each other. It's good stuff, but it's wild to see. But I think overall it shows a good social change that has happened, which I know has happened. Obviously not everywhere and not at the same rate everywhere, but I'm talking specifically in the US, and especially some areas that are around me, which are very forward and progressive when it comes to being accepting of everyone and stuff. Wow, those bosses just stopped existing. I am so strong right now. This might be the best idea I've ever had for a run, because this is the strongest run I've ever had. But yeah, it's just crazy to see the old stuff and how people acted and the stuff they said, and just with no shame, which that stuff wasn't socially shameful yet, so it made sense there would be no shame. Then I guess you could go into the argument of, should it be socially shamed? And it's like, I suppose my opinion would be, if a word has the ability to offend somebody, it's your choice how lenient or whatnot, or strict on not using that word you'd like to be around that person. For me, it's, of course, if that word has any chance of offending you, whatever a word may be, then I'm never going to use that around you, and most likely I'll try not to use it at all in my life if I can. But some people just don't care, and they'll kind of just throw anything around at any point. Especially, like, I know it's 2 blocks of people. It's usually like older people who, again, that goes back to our original thing of like everyone's saying everyone's soft, when in reality it's just everyone actually has more respect for each other. And then it's younger kids who like don't actually understand the social nuances and how to respect other people yet. Where are these bosses? Oh, down here. Oh, it's up here. Okay. And so it's like, well, you know, it's kind of the 2 people you get who will be stinky about that kind of stuff, but it's like they just don't really get it, you know? It's like, at least with the younger people, they're probably going to grow up and get it a little more, and you can respect that to some degree, where it's like, okay, you still have a lot to learn. But with older people, it's kind of like, you should have learned by now, you know? I don't like people the older people I see when they're just like still like that, and it's like, you should have had so much life experience by now to be able to disrespect people, you know? And until they disrespect you, then you can disrespect them back. But it's like, your default mode should be, okay, you're another human being, I respect you for that. Prove me wrong why I shouldn't respect you, you know? Or why I should. And then my admiration for you or respect for you might grow. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty simple stuff right there. Wow, that might be the fastest I've ever killed to get the bosses out. Oh my god, and they're gone. They're gone. Holy hell. This is why I did one more loop. I really wanted to see how much stronger I could get, and this is crazy, dude. This is nuts. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good TV coming out. I think I already talked about like that new Matilda movie that came out. It was like the musical movie on Netflix. That's a good watch if you want to watch that, especially if you have like some kids or something. It's a good time. Gosh, I don't know what else is coming out. Oh gosh, The Circle came out on Netflix too, which is like another one of those reality shows. And I've kind of been like not enjoying the new season as much as I've enjoyed past seasons. Still good and entertaining, but I'll probably finish it, but not gonna be my main priority, I don't think. Might be getting back into more of a stream mood. I kind of go through moods where I like watching live streams, and then I get out of those moods, and then I only want to watch like YouTube and Netflix, and then I go back into a stream mode after a few months. And that kind of switches back and forth for me, and that's kind of just how it is for me. Right now I feel like I'm about to enter like another era of a stream mode, because you know what I re-downloaded, or I bought from Steam, and I've been playing is Cookie Clicker. And I used to play Cookie Clicker all the time on my browser when I was younger, and it was like the thing that everyone was playing. You know, it was like, you're playing Cookie Clicker. And then I stopped playing it, but it came out on Steam a while ago, maybe like a year and a half ago or something, and everyone started playing it again. And then it was on sale with the Steam like winter sale the other day, and so I bought it for like $2 or whatever it was. I was like, I'm not gonna pass that up, because I like incremental games. I always have. And I kind of just leave it off my second monitor while I'm watching whatever, and click the little things that pop up or whatever, and keep upgrading my cookie production, and just have fun with it. And it's like, oh, this is bringing back good times, good memories. Because I used to play the hell out of it on my laptop. I think I like broke my laptop by playing that game so much, because it just like filled up. Oh, my CPU was dog. I mean, it was a laptop, not even a gaming laptop. It was a dog laptop. But I think my hard drives got full too. I didn't know anything about computers at that point. But yeah, that didn't end too well for that computer. yeah, I'm playing it again now, and I've been loving it. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is good. And they've updated it a lot and added a lot of new functions to it, and it's a good game. But I've just been having that up, and it's just been like, okay, I'll put that up in the second monitor, and it's so much easier to have that up in the second monitor when I'm doing like a stream or something, because the stream is just like, you know, whatever happens, happens. It's just someone doing like gameplay usually. That's what I watch, like gaming streams. But when it's actually like a show or something, I want to pay a little more attention to that because I want to watch the show and see what's happening in the show. So it can be a little different. Jeez, they just fucking die. They just stop existing. It's such a strong run. Jesus. It's insane. I've got 2 legendary upgrades too, so it just got even stronger. But, yeah. I'd like to stream myself. My internet's stinky. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. But, oh, hello there. You want to die, bosses? Watch this. Yeah, kiss the other side for me. Holy hell. This is insane, dude. Jesus. I'll do one more loop. Why not? It's just so strong. Cracking me up. Maybe I'll just go 5. I've never gone that far. But while it's so strong, I kind of just want to try it, honestly. Oh my god, it's hilarious. What time is it? 4. You know, might be a good time once this one's over to go ahead and get that sick burger. I think I was talking about the burger in the last episode. I'm gonna get a burger tonight. I think I'm gonna get a. I'm either gonna get a Big Mac or a Five Guys burger. Five Guys has like, my favorite burgers in the entire world. Unless I'm really in a Big Mac mood. And what I love about a Big Mac is the sauce. Ever since I had my first Big Mac, I was like addicted. Which is good because I'm really skinny and just food goes right through me. So that's nice. And when I say right through me, I mean like right through me. Specifically when it comes to Big Macs. When I eat a Big Mac, I don't know what it is, but I'm shitting within like the next 30 minutes. Might be TMI, so apologies if you didn't need to know that. But I feel like you needed to know that. I feel like that was information that you needed in your brain for the rest of your life. So now you know that. But Big Mac sauce just does it for me. You know what happened the other day though? The last Big Mac I ordered it, no pickles. That's all I said. I said completely, regular Big Mac. All I want is just no pickles on it. Just don't give me pickles on the Big Mac. And I know there's like pickles in the Big Mac sauce, so you're probably like, oh, you don't like pickles. I don't like pickles. Fuck you. I get the Big Mac, and all it was cheese and sauce. They took my freaking lettuce off, dude. I was like, where's my fucking lettuce? It doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but like, I want my fucking lettuce. I paid for the lettuce. Where's my lettuce? They just didn't give it to me. They just stole my lettuce. How are you conflating pickles with lettuce? They're both green, but pretty different if I can say so myself. I try not to roast service industry workers because, like, their job smells like ass. And I feel bad for them. But it's probably pretty slow because I ordered this at, like, I don't know, 1 in the morning. I just wanted a Big Mac because it was really late, and I was like, I just want a freaking Big Mac, dude. I'm freaking hungry. I might have been hungover, I forget, but what's the point right now? Maybe that is the point, because the point of a hungover Big Mac is that you want it even more because you're just like, want that greasy food, But no, now I get no freaking lettuce on there? It was just like way drier without the lettuce, which I know sounds weird, but I think the lettuce adds like some wateriness and like some crunch, and like I like the taste of lettuce. Which I know you're like, oh, well, lettuce doesn't really have taste. It was freaking. I like it. I like the lettuce. All right, I was bummed out. That's all I'm trying to say. That's my point. I was bummed out about the lettuce. It was a sad affair. All right. I'm making myself hungry now because I just keep thinking about these burgers. I'm getting a freaking burger. Should I live order a burger now? And then by the time I'm done with this episode, it'll like be here. This is genius. All right, hold on. I think I'm a genius. Okay, let me fight these guys really quick. And yo, I'm going. I'm gonna go over layer. Yep. We are so strong. Tornado, I think, is actually a really good ability. I like it. We'll go one more. All right, let's see. Where's Uber Eats at? Okay. Let's do this thing. Should I be wasting money on burger? Probably not. But it's a treat. Every now and again, it's a little treat. Okay, I just got here. How are you guys here already? Ooh, you're getting a little stronger for once. Where's the last one? Hello? Oh, there you are. You want to die? Bye-bye. Yeah, real strong. Strong and dead, idiots. Alright. Okay. I don't need any more XP multipliers because we're at the end here. Alright, show me 5 min. There it is. Beautiful. Is that the one I want to order from? See, there's 2, and then sometimes I'm like, which one is this? Because I'm really bad with street names. He just one-shot me. Ah! I promise you, I was looking at the screen the entire time. This is what happens when you build no defense. Okay, that was funny. I could use some movement speed, I think, because I appreciate that. I just got more movement speed from that than I got in like several other runs that I've done. Alright. So let's see here. Here's the thing. You want to get a hamburger, right? The thing with the Five Guys hamburger is it's 2 patties. Just straight off the bat. That's what's so dope about it. You get 2 freaking patties, dude. Just from a 1 burger. Which is good because it is like expensive. Five Guys is more expensive. But funnily enough, it usually comes out to around the same price as the McDonald's I get. I think they have different delivery fees is what happens. Or something. I don't know. But it's never that much of a big difference. Wow, that was like instant. Damage, damage, damage. Anything that says the word damage on it, I'm probably going to click. Except for that. Because I didn't want to lose movement speed because I got scared. Die? Do me a favor and die? Alexi, do me a favor and die? Yeah, we gotta do a big beam build again. I did a beam build when I first tried into Elementalist, and I was like, okay, this is really strong. And it was, but I want to do another one that's like really focused on it. They're just instantly spawning. I'm killing stuff that quick. I think the rot is that good. This is a dangerous go through here. Whoa! Good dodge. Movement speed. Cast. Let's go. I can't see. The tornadoes are in my eyes. Spitting up dust, brother. Where's the last one? Let me at him. Come here, you little stinky boy. You're going down, pal. Alright, what do you guys predict is the most damage for this run? I think that... Boy, look at those levels. I think Acid Rain might be the most damage of any of our abilities just because it was clearing so many ads. Let's see. Make your guesses. Lava Shield? What? No, Tornado did 1 billion. Holy shit. I've never seen an ability do 1 billion damage. Wow. But Lava Shield did 389 million. 2 billion damage from Light Beam. Almost 2 billion from Severe Cold. Interesting. I really thought Acid Rain was doing more. Dude, so Tornado slaps. Light Beam, of course, is an amazing ability. And Severe Cold, proving yet again that it is a force to be reckoned with. One of the best new weapons in the entire game from the past update is the Elementalist. The Severe Cold is an insanely good ability. That was an amazing run. If you guys enjoyed, don't leave me a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, or hey, you can even hit that little thanks button below the video so you can buy me a Five Guys burger. That'd be pretty cool, right? All that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and as always, have a great day.